So I am wearing my Korn t-shirt, and I've gotten questions about this before. Yes, I am a huge Korn fan. They are my favorite band of all time. Like, I've seen them in concert multiple times. They're fantastic. I love them so much. A lot of people are surprised when they hear that about me, but that's like my genre of music. Like Korn, Metallica, Tool are my top 3 favorite bands of all time. They're love, love, love. I love that stuff. Hey guys, it's Sarah. Today is BookList Thursday, and this is a video series I do with my friend Lindsay over at Lindsay's Little Library. And every Thursday we bring you some sort of list or book topic that we feel like talking about for that week. And for this week, we are going to be talking about the best books to annotate. I'm actually not a person who annotates in my books, and I don't really know why. I think it's just more I don't want to take the time to do it. I just read and I just read and I don't think about like writing things down. I'm getting better about writing down quotes that stand out to me. Like if I'm reading a book and I go back and I read a quote again, or I read a paragraph again, I'm better about writing that down. I've been writing that in my reading planner for this year. I've already written down a couple of things. So that I'm getting a little bit better about. But as far as writing in my books or marking them up or tabbing them, I don't take the time to do it. That's just not me personally, but I love watching people do that to their books, and I love seeing the tabs in people's books and kind of what stood out to them. So I think it's really cool to see. I just don't take the time to do it. So this is more like if I did annotate, these are books that I would annotate. The first one is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. Now this is a book that I don't necessarily wish I had annotated, but I wish I had written down a lot of these quotes in here. And one day, at some point, I will reread this book, and I'm going to keep a notebook handy, and I'm probably just going to fill a few pages of the quotes in this book that really stood out to me, because there were so many really, really just things that hit you in your gut and things that make you think and question your morals. So yeah, it makes you think about society and makes you think about what you deem as okay or what you kind of gloss over as. So very interesting, but I loved so many of the quotes in here. Now, this next one is probably just one that I personally would have, probably annotated or pointed some things out. And that's The Stranger Beside Me by Anne Rule. So this is Anne's personal account of her friendship with Ted Bundy. And then you also, follow the cases of Ted Bundy and him, being on the run and doing what he was doing. And so many things in here really stood out to me, and just things that I was making kind of mental notes about. And, as you're reading and you're reading about the cases and the things that he says, it kind of sparks other things, and you're like, oh, I wonder if he was talking about this. And I wonder if, this is preluding to this. And, oh, this is when he's about to go do this. And maybe this is what set him off and all that stuff. So I think this would be a cool one to annotate as well, or just to kind of, mark up a little bit and just kind of piece things together, because that's very much what this is. And the next one is Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. Probably every book in this series you could sit there and mark up and annotate and flag, because there are so many things happening in this book and happening in the series. And there's so many characters that you're following who all have their own little storylines that you're following. Some of them intersect, some of them don't. And, sometimes you just want to kind of keep track of all that and think about things that are going to come back later. And is this going to be something that's important later? Is this something, that's like, is this a foreshadowing? That type of thing. Especially if you're going to reread and go through it again and kind of see what foreshadows. I think that's kind of cool. So yeah, definitely a good one that you can mark up. Same with Harry Potter. Now, I think the annotation for this one would definitely be upon a reread, because as I'm currently rereading this series with my daughter, and it's funny because Harry Potter is my favorite book series of all time. Like, I have a tattoo. I love Harry Potter. These books will always be number one to me. Nothing will ever top these books for me, ever, ever. I love them. I've only read through the entire series one time in my life. Only once. I am currently rereading every book for the second time right now, and I'm doing it with my daughter, Kaylin. We're currently on book 4. She wants to keep going with the illustrated editions, but I'm going to be pushing her to not wait for the illustrated editions, because they're taking 2 years to come out now, and Mama can't wait that long. So I'm going to when we're done with number 4, that we are reading the illustrated edition right now, I'm going to encourage her, to not wait too long to go on to number 5 and just read my copies. The reason I would go back through and annotate these is because same with Game of Thrones, like there's a lot going on. There's a lot of characters, there's a lot of things going through the second time that I'm kind of picking out. And I'm like, oh, that's what this means. And, that's this character. And, they don't show up for a couple other books, but they're coming and all this stuff. So I think there's just a lot of little tidbits in here that almost every time, I've heard other people say this too, like when you reread these books, almost every time you're picking up something different and you're picking up something new. So I think that's really cool. And it makes it, awesome to go through and be able to read these again and still really, really enjoy them, no matter how many times you've read them. So I know this is a book series I will read multiple times throughout my life. And I'm just going to get something a little bit more from it every time. And the next one I have here, I actually tried to start annotating this book, and I picked this one because it's kind of a really beat up copy. It's already been kind of written in and, bent and all that stuff. So I was like, well, if I write in it, it's not going to like ruin it anyway. It's already kind of ruined. But that's The Shack by William Paul Young. And I did go through, I kind of just underlined something there that stuck out to me. And then this is probably the most I've done. I drew a little broken heart and like a question up here and stuff like that. So yeah, I tried to start annotating this, but again, like I only did it a couple times and then I just forgot to annotate it. I just kept reading and then didn't even think about picking up my pen again. So it's just not something that really sticks with me as far as annotating goes. But this one is definitely one that talks about spirituality. Obviously, God is a main character in here, and definitely just things that you can underline and highlight and things that will probably stand out to you, especially if you're a Christian, just things that would probably speak to you on a deeper level than just if you're reading it for, a good novel. So I think that this would be a good one to annotate. And I tried, but it's just not me. Okay, guys, those are 5 books that I feel like if I were an annotator, those would be ones that I would definitely gravitate towards as far as annotation goes. And it would be something that I could fill up a lot of tabs and thoughts and, quotes and stuff like that. So let me know down below if you guys annotate your books. Do you even do that? And if you do, what do you look for? Do you do it in a certain way, or do you just do it whenever you feel like it's calling to you to do it? Let me know. Let me know if you mark up your books. I want to know what your habits are with all that kind of stuff. And check out Lindsay's video today too, because I know she does annotate some of her books. Not everything that she reads, but sometimes she does. So I'm interested to see if she shows what she has annotated already, and if she shows any of that. I hope she does. So make sure you go check her out today too. And we will see you guys again soon. Hope you have a great day. Bye.